The farm at the edge of the forest was quiet that night. The wind moved through the tall grass in soft waves, and the old wooden house creaked now and then as if talking in its sleep. Elias Ward, the farmer, was sitting on the porch with a warm cup of tea. He had finished his work early and was enjoying the rare, peaceful evening. His 2 children, Anna and Jonah, were inside, getting ready for bed. Elias had lived on this land for more than 10 years. He knew its sounds and moods. He knew when a storm was coming, when animals were restless, and when something was wrong. That night, something felt strange. The wind was cold and sharp, and the forest looked darker than usual. Even the animals were quiet. Then it happened. A distant crash shook the ground. It was not thunder. It was something else. Something heavy. Something falling. Elias stood up quickly, the tea forgotten. He listened. The forest went silent for 3 long seconds. Then came a low growl, deep, tired, and full of pain. Inside the house, Jonah opened the door. "Dad? What was that?" "Stay inside," Elias said. His voice was calm, but he felt a knot in his chest. "Close the windows. Don't come out unless I call you." Anna peeked from behind her brother. "Is it an animal?" "I don't know," Elias said honestly, "but I'm going to check." He grabbed a lantern and stepped into the night. The cold wind hit him, carrying the smell of smoke. He followed the sound toward the forest. His boots pressed softly into the dirt path as he went deeper into the trees. The air grew warmer, almost like something had burned recently. The light from the lantern swung across the trunks, and shadows danced around him. Then he saw it, a long skid mark on the ground, trees bent and broken, and pieces of strange metal scattered everywhere. It looked like something or someone had crashed here. Another sound came from ahead. Not a growl this time, but a weak cough. Elias walked closer, holding the lantern high. His breath stopped. There on the ground was a tall figure with gray fur, glowing yellow eyes, and long white hair. Not human, not even close. The creature looked like a woman crossed with a wolf. Sharp ears, clawed hands, and a long tail that dragged in the dirt. She was breathing fast, clutching her side. She looked up at him in fear and pain. Elias froze, but only for a moment. She was hurt. That was all he saw. "It's okay," he said softly, raising his hands to show he had no weapon. "I'm here to help." The wolf woman tried to stand, but her legs shook. Behind her, the shadows moved. Elias stepped back, but then something unexpected happened. More figures stepped out from the darkness. First 2, then 4, then more. 13 in total. 13 wolf women. Their eyes glowed in the lantern light, and their fur rippled in the cold wind. Some were limping, some holding injuries, and all looked exhausted. They were tall, taller than him, taller than most humans. Their bodies were strong, trained, and dangerous looking. Yet none of them attacked. They looked tired. They looked lost. One of them, the tallest, stepped forward. She had silver fur and sharp blue eyes. She stared at Elias with a cautious expression. "Human," she said in a heavy accent. We do not seek trouble." Elias swallowed but nodded. "I believe you, but you need help. You're injured." The silver-furred leader blinked in surprise. She did not expect kindness. None of them did. The first wolf woman, the one he had seen on the ground, took a weak step and fell forward. Elias rushed to catch her before she hit the dirt. His lantern shook as he held her weight. "Easy," he said. "You're hurt badly." Her eyes opened halfway. We ran," she whispered. "They follow. They want us gone." Her voice faded into a soft breath. Elias looked at the others. They were watching him closely, waiting to see if he would run or betray them. But he thought of his children, of how he would want someone to help them if they were afraid and alone. "My farm is close," he said. "You can rest there just for tonight. You're safe for now." The silver leader hesitated. "You would shelter us? You know nothing of us." "No one deserves to suffer out here," Elias replied. "Not even strangers." The wolf women exchanged looks, surprised, unsure, but also relieved. Finally, the leader nodded. "Then we accept," she said quietly. "Just for one night. Elias helped the first wolf woman lean on him, and the others followed behind like tired soldiers. They moved slowly through the trees, staying close to the lantern's light. When they reached the edge of the farm, Anna and Jonah were waiting at the window. Their eyes went wide when they saw the tall figures walking behind their father. But Elias only said one thing to reassure them. "They're guests." He led the wolf women to the warm barn, away from the cold night. They settled on the soft hay, curling up from exhaustion. Some lay close to each other, as if the warmth helped them stay alive. Elias offered blankets, water, and old medical supplies. The wolf women accepted quietly, their eyes softening. The leader bowed her head slightly. "You have given us more than we expected," she said. "Humans are not like we were told." Elias smiled gently. "Rest. We'll talk in the morning." As he closed the barn door, the wind howled again, but this time it felt different. Something had changed. The world felt heavier, as if the night had brought with it a secret larger than his quiet farm. And he had no idea that the arrival of those 13 wolf women would change everything. Liam woke up early the next morning, long before the sun rose. He stepped outside with a cup of hot tea, hoping the 13 wolf women had already left. But when he looked toward the barn, he saw their silhouettes moving inside. They were still here, and they were hiding. He walked toward the barn slowly. He could hear whispers, soft growls, and the sound of metal being checked. Maybe weapons. When he pushed the door open, all eyes turned to him. Instantly, the wolf women formed a half circle, ready to attack if necessary. Liam raised both hands. "I'm not here to fight," he said softly. "I just want to know why you're on my land." The leader, Vexa, stepped forward. Her golden eyes studied him carefully. She looked tired, almost desperate. She spoke in a firm voice, but there was fear behind it. "We cannot leave yet," she said. "We need one more day. After that, we go." "You didn't answer me," Liam replied. "Why are you hiding? And why here?" The wolf women exchanged worried looks. Some lowered their heads, as if the truth was dangerous. Finally, Vexa sighed. "Because someone is chasing us," she said. "A powerful group. And if they find us, they will destroy everything in their path, including your farm." Liam froze. Then why come here? Why risk this place? Vexa looked at him with a strange expression. "Because humans think this farm is harmless. Quiet. No one searches here. We saw a chance. A small one, but a chance." The others nodded. They were strong warriors, but right now they looked like exhausted travelers with no safe place left. Liam leaned against a wooden post. "Who is after you?" This time Vexa did not answer immediately. She walked closer, lowering her voice. "We were bounty hunters. Yes, but we refused a contract." Her voice grew heavy. "A contract to capture children." Liam's eyes widened. "Children?" Vexa nodded. "Not human, not wolf. A rare alien species. Expensive, valuable. Someone wanted them for experiments." Liam clenched his fists. The idea made him sick. "We refused," Vexa continued, "and we tried to protect the children. But the client sent an elite squad after us. Hunters who do not forgive betrayal. They chased us across 3 moons. Some of our sisters were lost." Her gaze darkened. "We barely escaped to this planet." Liam was quiet for a long time. He studied their faces, the scars, the pain, the exhaustion. They were not dangerous monsters. They were running from something worse. "Where are the children now?" Liam asked gently. One of the younger wolf women stepped forward, her ears drooping. "We hid them," she whispered. "Far from here. They are safer now." Liam nodded slowly. "So you came here to rest and move again?" Vexa looked surprised. "You believe us?" "Why wouldn't I?" Liam said. "You look more scared than dangerous." Some of the wolf women relaxed. Shoulders softened. A few even smiled a little. "But there is more," Vexa said. Liam sighed. "Of course there is." She stepped closer, her eyes glowing in the dim barn light. "We need your help," she said. Liam raised an eyebrow. "My help? I'm a farmer. I fix tractors." What help can I give 13 alien warriors? Vexa hesitated before speaking. Our ship was damaged during the escape. We can fix most of it, but one part, an old human-made engine module, can only be repaired by someone who understands your machines. Liam blinked in surprise. You're serious? Vexa nodded. Yes, you are the closest mechanic in this region, and the only one who doesn't ask too many questions. Liam rubbed his forehead. This was becoming unbelievable. 13 wolf women bounty hunters with stolen children chased by elite enemies, and they needed him, a simple farmer. Let me see the ship, he finally said. The wolf women looked shocked. Vexa tilted her head. You will help? I will look, Liam corrected. I didn't say yes yet. But inside, he already knew he would. They led him to a hidden cave at the back of his property. Inside, half buried under vines and broken rocks, was a sleek, dark ship with glowing silver marks. The hull was scratched, scorched, and dented. It looked like it had been through a war. When Liam stepped closer, he touched the damaged engine. His eyes widened. It's old human tech, he said. Really old. From the first wave of Earth explorers. Vexa nodded. Can you fix it? I can try, Liam said. But if that elite group is chasing you, they might come here. They will, Vexa said softly. Liam stared at her. Then why tell me everything? Her voice lowered. Because you are our only chance. They walked back toward the farm. The sky was turning orange as dawn arrived. Liam felt a strange heaviness in his chest. He did not want trouble, but trouble had already found him. The wolf women returned to the barn, whispering to each other quietly. Liam stood outside, looking at his peaceful land, his cows, his fields, his small home. He thought about the children they protected. He thought about the hunters coming after them. He thought about fear and courage, and how sometimes simple people were pulled into big stories. Then he walked toward his workshop and gathered his tools. Whether he liked it or not, things were no longer quiet on his farm. The next 2 days passed with quiet tension on the farm. Liam spent hours working on the ship's old engine part, cleaning wires, repairing burnt circuits, and replacing broken clamps. The wolf women stayed close, guarding the barn and the cave, taking turns resting and patrolling the fields. But even with their watchfulness, Liam could feel trouble moving closer, like a storm in the distance. On the 3rd morning, it finally came. Liam was outside fixing a fence when he heard a sound, deep, low, and unnatural. It wasn't a tractor or a truck, or even thunder. It was a humming vibration that made the ground tremble slightly. He froze, lifting his head toward the sky. A shadow passed over the field. Then another, then a third. The wolf women rushed out of the barn, weapons already in their hands. Their ears stood straight. Their eyes glowed with alarm. Vexa looked up, her voice tight. They found us. 3 dark aircraft hovered far above the farm. They were silent hunters, shaped like spears, with red scanning lights moving across the land. They flew in circles, slow and patient, like predators scenting their prey. Liam's heart pounded. You said they wouldn't search this region. They shouldn't have, Vexa said, but they must have tracked our trail. Or they found something we left behind. The youngest wolf woman, Naira, stepped closer to Liam. We need to hide you. If they see a human helping us, they will take you too. Liam shook his head. They'll see the ship if they scan the cave again. They'll find all of us. Vexa looked at the fields, her mind racing. We must stay inside the barn. Stay low. Stay silent. Maybe they will not detect heat signatures through the thick walls. But Liam knew something she didn't. These ships have deep scanners. They can detect movement underground. The wolf women stiffened, their tails lowered with worry. They were warriors, but they were tired, wounded, and low on supplies. Against 3 elite ships, they stood no chance in open combat. Then we run, said one of the older wolf women. No, Vexa said firmly. If we run into open land, they will chase us, surround us, and capture us. And they will get the children. She looked at Liam. We must stay hidden as long as possible. The ships continued to circle. One sank lower, scanning the barn. A red line swept across Liam's farmhouse. Then the ship suddenly stopped above the field, hovering. A metallic voice echoed from a loudspeaker. Unregistered life forms detected. Reveal yourselves. Any resistance will be punished under Imperial law. Naira whispered. They know. The ship dropped lower. Liam, Vexa said urgently, go inside. Lock your doors. Pretend you know nothing. He shook his head again. If they come down here, I won't be able to lie. I'm not trained like you. The wolf women looked at him with confusion. Then what do you want to do? Vexa asked. Liam took a slow breath. He looked around at the land he loved, his home, his fields, his animals. This place had always been quiet and simple, but now it was a battlefield waiting to happen. I want to protect my farm, he said, and the people hiding on it. The wolf women stared at him in silence. A human farmer, standing with them, even when danger was right above. It felt strange. It felt brave. But before anyone could speak, a sharp alarm went off from inside the cave. Naira's ears shot up. They scanned the ship. Liam's stomach dropped. How long until they find entrance? Minutes, Vexa answered. Maybe less. One of the wolf women spoke quickly. We can seal the cave and make a dust shield. It may confuse their scans. No, Vexa said. It won't be enough. Another wolf woman stepped forward. We should fight. It is the only way. We will die if we fight now, Vexa snapped. We are wounded, weak, outnumbered. The aircraft descended lower, their engines humming like angry bees. Liam felt the vibration in his bones. We need a distraction, he said suddenly. The wolf women turned to him. What kind of distraction? Vexa asked. Something big, he said. Something loud enough to pull him away from the ship. Vexa frowned. We have no explosives. But I do, Liam said. Old ones. Used for blowing rocks in the North Field. The wolf women exchanged glances. You want to set explosives off? Naira asked. Yes, Liam said. If we can make them think the explosion is a crash or a heat spike far from the cave, maybe they follow it. Vexa considered it. It could work if the timing is exact. Liam grabbed his keys. I can set them up. But someone has to be fast enough to run the detonator out into the field. Naira stepped forward instantly. I will do it. Vexa grabbed her arm. No, you are the youngest. You stay. Naira pulled her arm free. I am the fastest. There was no time to argue. The ships were already dropping lower. Fine, Vexa said, but be careful. The next few minutes were a blur. Liam rushed into his old storage shed, pulling out 2 boxes of rock-blasting charges. Naira helped carry them despite the weight. They ran into the far field, far from the cave and barn. They set up the charges quickly, burying them lightly under dirt. Ready? Liam asked. Naira held the detonator in her hand. Ready. Run, Liam shouted. They sprinted back toward the farm. The ships turned their lights toward the field. Sensing movement, Naira hit the detonator. A massive explosion lit the sky. Bright, loud, shaking the ground like thunder. The ships reacted instantly, breaking formation and rushing toward the blast. They took the bait. Naira gasped. For now, the farm was safe, but they all knew the danger wasn't gone. It had only been delayed, and trouble was coming back. Soon, the explosion in the far field bought them time, but not peace. The ships had raced toward the blast, scanning the area, circling it, trying to understand what caused such a strong heat spike. But Liam knew they wouldn't stay distracted for long. The Empire was smart. Their machines were smart. They would come back. And when they did, the far would be the first place they searched. The wolf women felt the same fear. They stayed close, moving silently through the barn and around the cave, checking every entrance and every shadow. They whispered in their own language, ears twitching nervously. Even Vexa, the strongest among them, watched the sky with worry in her eyes. Liam stood outside his small farmhouse, looking at the distant metal shapes still hovering near the explosion site. The early light made the field shine, but he couldn't enjoy it. His land felt different now, no longer quiet, no longer safe. They will come back soon, Vexa said behind him. He nodded. I know. We must leave before they return. Liam turned to her and shook his head. If all of you run, they'll see you in seconds. The fields are wide open. Vexa's jaw tightened. She knew he was right. Naira stepped forward, her voice small but brave. Then we stay and fight? Liam hesitated. He was a farmer, not a soldier. He had never held a real weapon in his life. But something inside him refused to let these 13 strangers, who were tired, hunted, and carrying secrets, face the Empire alone. They want you, he said, but they'll come through me to get to the cave. That gives us a chance. A chance for what? Asked one of the wolf women. To stand together, Liam said quietly, to make it hard for them. The wolf women exchanged looks. They had never been protected by a human before. They were warriors, trained to fight, trained to hide, trained to survive. But they were also injured and outnumbered. They needed a plan. And strangely, the human farmer standing before them was becoming a part of that plan. Vexa finally spoke. We cannot defeat the Empire, but we can delay them. Long enough for our ship to reboot. Long enough to escape. Liam nodded. Then we delay them. They moved quickly. Liam brought out old farming tools, metal rods, thick ropes, heavy chains, things that could slow down soldiers or trips their scanners. The wolf women set traps near the barn doors, tying ropes high above, so they could pull them down like nets. Vexa and 2 others moved machines inside the barn to block the largest entrance. Liam climbed onto his tractor and drove it toward the driveway, not to escape, but to block it. The machine was old, but heavy enough to make a barrier. He parked it across the path, the engine still running. Naira climbed onto the fence near him, her tail moving anxiously. You're not scared? Liam gave her a small smile. I am very scared. Then why stay? Because someone has to. Naira looked at him with wide, golden eyes. You are strange or human. Liam laughed nervously. I get that a lot. Before Naira could say more, the hum returned. A sound like metal thunder rolled across the sky. The ships were coming back. Fast. They are returning, shouted one of the wolf women from the barn roof. Vexa ran to the center of the field. Positions. The wolf women moved like shadows, splitting into groups, finding places to hide behind hay bales, walls, and machines. Liam stood beside his tractor, gripping a heavy wrench even though he knew it would do nothing against real weapons. The ships descended low, scanning lights sweeping across the farm again. This time they didn't circle slowly. They came in sharp, tight passes, like they knew exactly where to search. Then a voice echoed from the lead ship. Unregistered species detected. Human presence confirmed. Stand down or be neutralized. Liam felt Naira tense beside him. They think you are helping us. I am, Liam whispered, and I'm not going to lie about it. The ships lowered until they were just above the barn. Dust and straw blew everywhere. The doors rattled. Then metal figures dropped from the ship. Tall soldiers in silver armor, landing with heavy thuds. Their visors glowed red. Their weapons hummed with energy. They marched toward the barn. Liam's grip tightened on his wrench. Remember, Vexa whispered from her hiding place. We are not trying to win, only to hold them back. The first soldier stepped on one of the hidden ropes. Naira pulled hard from behind a bale. A net of thick cables dropped from above, trapping the soldier as he fired wildly into the air. Another soldier walked into a trip chain and fell hard, his armor scraping the dirt. The others tried to advance, but the wolf women attacked fast and disappeared even faster, throwing small metal blocks that exploded into clouds of dust, confusing the scanners. Liam's heart pounded as a soldier marched toward him. The large, armored figure stopped just a few feet away, aiming a glowing weapon at him. Human, the soldier said. Step aside. Liam didn't move. This is my land. You are aiding fugitives. No, Liam said firmly. I'm helping guests. The soldier reached out to grab him. Before he could, Vexa leaped from the barn roof, tackling the soldier to the ground with a snarl. The other wolf women rushed in, pulling Liam back. forming a protective line around him. The Empire soldiers regrouped. The wolf women tensed. The stand at the farmland had fully begun, and none of them planned to run. The sun rose slowly over farmland, painting the sky with soft orange light. Smoke still floated in the air from the long night of fighting. The ground was marked with burned lines, broken armor, and pieces of damaged machines. But the farm still stood. The barn still stood. And Liam was still alive. The Empire soldiers had retreated just before dawn. Their scanners had been damaged by the dust traps. Their trackers confused by the wolf women's fast movements. They pulled back to repair their machines and rethink their strategy. They had not expected real resistance from a simple farmer. They had not expected unity between a human and 13 hunted wolf women. Now, the field was quiet. Liam walked slowly across the soil, feeling every ache in his body. His clothes were torn, his hands bruised, and his mind tired. But when he looked at the wolf women resting near the barn, he felt something new: pride. The wolf women were exhausted. Some had cuts on their arms. Others sat holding bandaged wounds. Vexa stood in the center, her fur messy and her breathing heavy, but she still watched the sky with sharp eyes. "They will return," she said softly. "I know," Liam answered, "but we'll be ready again." Vexa turned to him, studying him for a long moment. "You are strange, human farmer." Liam gave a small smile. "You all keep saying that." "You had no reason to protect us," she continued. "You could have hidden. You could have left. But you stood with us." Liam looked around at the farm, his home, his land, the only life he had ever known. "You needed help," he said simply, "and I couldn't pretend not to see it." Naira stepped forward, her tail swaying weakly. "You changed everything," she said. "For us." Liam shook his head. "You changed everything for me, too." Before anyone could say more, a loud sound echoed across the fields. The wolf women tensed instantly. A ship, but this one did not sound like the Empire's ships. It hummed softer, smoother, as if made from lighter metal. The wolf women's eyes widened with recognition. "It's ours," whispered one of them. "Our clan's ship." The sleek silver ship descended slowly, landing at the far edge of the field. Its door opened, and 3 tall wolf-like figures stepped out. Their armor was decorated with bright markings. They moved with strength and pride. They were clan leaders. Vexa straightened, suddenly looking nervous. The leader stepped toward her and placed a hand on her shoulder. "We searched for you," he said. "When we lost contact, we feared the worst." Vexa lowered her head. "We survived because of him." The leader's eyes turned toward Liam. His expression softened. "You protected our warriors," he said. "You risked your life." Liam shrugged awkwardly. It seemed like the right thing to do. The leader looked at the damaged field, the broken machines, the signs of battle. "You fought Empire soldiers on your own land," he said quietly. "Most humans would have run." Liam looked across the field where the wolf women stood together, still watching him with trust in their eyes. "I didn't run because they didn't run," he answered. The leader nodded slowly. "Then hear this. From this day on, this farm is under our clan's protection." The wolf women gasped softly. Even Vex's eyes widened. "No Empire soldier will attack you again without facing us," the leader continued. "Your land, your family, your future will be guarded." Liam blinked, stunned. I don't know what to say." "You do not need to say anything," the leader replied. "Your actions speak for you." The wolf women turned to Liam with warm smiles and soft eyes. Naira stepped forward and gently placed a hand on his arm. "You are part of our story now," she whispered. "Part of our clan." Liam felt something tighten in his throat. He had lived alone on this farm for years. He had never expected to become important in anyone's history. But now, he had a place in theirs. The leader gestured toward the ship. "We will take our warriors home. But if you ever need us, send a signal. We will come." Vexa walked up to Liam last. "You saved us," she said. "You stood with us when we had nothing. I will never forget that." Liam nodded. "And this land will always be open to you." Vexa touched her forehead to his, an old gesture of respect in her culture. Then she turned and joined her sisters. The wolf women boarded the ship slowly, each giving Liam one last grateful look. Naira waved at him with a bright smile before the door closed. The ship lifted into the sky, rising higher and higher until it shone like a silver star. Then it shot forward and disappeared into the early morning clouds. Silence fell over the farm again. Liam stood alone in the field, the wind brushing softly against him. The soil under his feet was still warm from battle, but his heart felt light. His farm had been ordinary. His life had been quiet. But last night changed everything. People would talk about this place one day. They would tell stories about the farmer who protected hunted warriors. They would tell stories about 13 wolf women who defended a human's home as if it were their own. They would call it bravery or madness or destiny. But to Liam, it was simple. He helped because it was right. And the farm that became legend began with that one small choice.